All right. I know I didn't announce this one, but let's see if anybody comes on through. It is Wednesday night, and Wednesday nights mean live streams. So let's see if anybody gets the notification and decides to pop in, say what's up, hang out for a little while. What do you guys think? Well, since there are none of you here yet, uh, don't know. 30 seconds. Let's see if those YouTube notifications have gone off and people are actually popping in. I see one person here, two people here. Kent says I call BS. But you don't think I can new year, new me? Look, Kent, I'm drinking wine tonight. That's new. Pickles, what's going on, Charlie? Hey Murphy, how you doing? Same dash, same beer. We got Jeff News Barbecue. What's going on with you? Oh man, today has been a good day. Uh, what's up with everybody else? Jamel Wilkins, Happy New Year to you too, sir. Happy New Year. Toy Man, what's going on? Well, thank you. Grow here on top of that dome, and we can talk. Well, look, this is about the extent of where it grows in. You can see it. Vacation was great. Robert Young says Happy New Year. Noob says I just bought a Weber Smoky Mountain for my next video. That's what's up, man. Congratulations. Hey, on kids keep moving this table. All right. Happy New Year, Rob. Let's see. Should night for Halloween this year. What's up, Dash? Happy New Year to you too, Bumpy. Amatic one. Happy New Year to you too. Yep, I actually do own a Weber Smoky Mountain. I have never used it, but I do own one. Happy New Year. All right, so quick story. The okay, so New Year. When you wish someone Happy New Year, you wish them Happy New Year. When you're talking about New Year's Day, you're talking about New Year's Day, okay, or New Year's Eve. But when you speak about or wish someone a Happy New Year, there's no S after year. My brother called me out. He posted on Facebook this morning and he says, it is 12 o'clock. I wonder who my brother is going to give grief about or who's going to annoy my brother about putting the S when people wish you a happy new year. So, yes, Jeff, you win. You win. You win. Bob Daly says, Happy New Year. Hope you enjoy another year. Or hope to enjoy another year of watching your videos. Yes, indeed. No, man, it's Happy New Year. We're 1 year at a time. 1 year at a time. Can you grow a long goatee, dye gray, and go as pickles for Halloween this year? No, man. I actually prefer my beard. I don't. So the whole thing is having a goatee is maintenance. That's why I started growing my beard out in the first place. It's because it's lower maintenance. Noob says he's going to do a comparison video between the Weber Smoky Mountain Pit Barrel and the Bronco. Yeah. Nope. I can't. Plus, you guys saw where my beard length was. That's like terminal length. Uh, nope. It's Happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. But if you're wishing someone a Happy New Year, it's just Happy New Year. This a pet peeve of mine ever since I was a kid. Like seriously, like I said, my brother called me out on Facebook. Like I wonder who's going to annoy him by putting the S on the end. Toy Man, what do I have planned? I don't have anything planned. That's my plan. I don't plan stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't plan stuff. Bob Daly, why is she surprised? Bob, you're here. You joined the live. The least I can do is acknowledge the fact that you're here. So hi, Mrs. Daly. All right. Maybe she should watch and subscribe too. Happy 2020, Big Steve says. Beautiful Grill, hello, hello, hello. Brandon, I'm right there with you. Brandon says, New Year, more money, hopefully. All right, so if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I know I didn't actually post up something ahead of time saying I was going to go live. I really didn't know if I was going to make it to be able to go live. I had a couple things going on today. I'm trying to get this adjusted down. But I will tell you, and I didn't actually do any sort of video. This was just cooking for the family. I cooked a 2-bone rib roast, and Steve, I use your beef seasoning, so it turned out pretty daggone good. I have some pictures of it. I might post those pictures on my Instagram. So for those of you guys who are following me on Instagram, you will probably see those. But I'm trying to get this. I don't know what it is. The camera feels. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. So if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Well, Bob, tell Mrs. Daly thank you for watching and following along. All right, it's cool when you actually see this is what happens. I am actually live. I am here right now. So thank you, Bob and Mrs. Daly, for joining in. What's your thoughts on the drum smoker? I'll be fabricating one in the next 2 weeks. I love my drums, man. I cook on my drums. I cooked on a drum yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I did a brisket on a drum. I love them, man. I definitely love my drum. I am good, Mike. I am good. Eric says, Happy New Year, barbecue family. Yes, indeed. Let's see, Johnny. What's Johnny? Who Johnny? Did I miss? Beautiful Grill. All right. Nope. Terry, how you doing this evening? Kent. Any tricks on the fabrication I should know about? Well, yeah, it is shorter. It was cut off. It's been what, 2 weeks now? 3 weeks almost? 3 weeks since I've been away. I cut it down for my vacation. My wife's birthday. My wife likes when my beard is really, really low, so I cut it down for her birthday. Excuse me. Let's see. Any tricks on the fabrication I should know about? So, if you haven't or didn't see, because I'm using a grill dome lid, and it's just a cheap 22.5-inch dome lid. But make sure you get one with the handle on top. Don't get one where the handle's in the front and it's meant to hinge on the bottom or the base. Get one where the handle is on top so you can actually lift it up and off. Other than that, as far as I use inch and a half, inch and a half flat stock, and I put that inside of the inner diameter of the drum. And what that will do is that makes it just small enough where you can actually put that dome directly on top of it without having to fiddle with it not fitting on top of the drum 100%. So that's just about it. Happy New Year to you too, Johnny or John. Yes, indeed, definitely enjoying them, Steve. Can't. All right. Well, Jack, Betty, how you guys doing? You know what? Tonight you're not the only husband and wife team that are watching. We have Mr. and Mrs. Daly that are also watching. Apparently, when I said Bob's name, his wife, kind of nudged him like, "Wait a minute, he just said your name." So yeah, you're not the only one. So maybe you have some competition on a weekly basis, Jack and Betty, from Bob and Mrs. Daly. I don't know. Hey yo, I'm sorry, Mr. Hockett, man. It's been a long day. Was up late last night. So yeah, I actually slept in this morning. I slept in until about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and that is very odd for me. Um, Dime Store Harris's favorite brisket spices. Yes. Tyrone says Happy New Year. Why aren't you using my Weber Smoky Mountain pickles, man? It's tucked away in the back of the garage, and I don't have. It needs racks. Like it's missing racks. That was the thing. I actually did it for doing a Yelp review for someone. A friend of mine who has a he had a vape store. He's like, hey man, yo, I see, and mind you, this is how many years ago this was. He's like, hey man, I see you have I don't even remember what the Yelp level was, but it was under just like a over just like a basic Yelper, like I was like a power Yelper or whatever. And he's like, hey man, I see you have this, Yelp thing, and I have this grill. He's like, I have this grill I'm not using. Maybe you can use it. I'm like, well, what is it? He's like, it's a Weber Smoky Mountain. I was like, ooh. And now, mind you, this is back when I was probably just only using the drums. So I'm like, so this is 2014, early 2015. So I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I could use it. So he says, well, if you go into my store, check it out, give me leave me a Yelp review, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care. He's like, I'll give you the Weber Smoky Mountains. I was like, all right, well, I'll go in there. So I went in the store, checked it out. I was like, dude, actually, your staff was cool. Like, I was like, I told him I was new to vaping and wanted to learn some information about it and this, that, and the other. I was like, they kind of explained some things to me. They didn't pressure me into buying anything. I said it was actually really nice. I said it was cool. So he's like, all right, cool. Hey man, whenever you get a chance, swing down, come pick this thing up. And I picked it up, and I've never used it. I love you to laugh, man. That's why I make these comments. Well, Kent, I appreciate it. Paul, Happy New Year to you too, sir. Barbecue with Rick. Rick. All right. Yo, yo, what up, barbecue peeps? Happy New Year to everyone. What did you cook for New Year's Eve? I just did I did a brisket for New Year's Eve, and that wasn't for me. Today, I actually cooked a two-bone rib roast, and that was just for the family. But I did do that one on the trigger, and it turned out pretty phenomenally. I used Big Steve's beef seasoning on that one. So, Mr. Hawkins says, please hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Will the Cambro keep food cold also? Yes, it will, Tyrone. It is a passive heater and or cooler. It will do both. If you put cold foods in it, it'll keep them cold. If you put hot foods in it, it'll keep them hot. One of the things, and I think I've talked about it in the past, when I get food that I'm going to be cooking like later in the day, I'll bring it home, I'll put it inside the Cambro, and then I don't have to worry about taking up refrigerator space because it'll keep the things that I have in there cold. Michael says, Happy New Year. Glad to finally catch a live stream. Well, glad you could be here. Dime Store Henry says, what are your favorite brisket spices? Sorry about that. No. I heard you. And yes, I don't answer stuff about spices, man. If you've been around the channel long enough, the only thing that I ever really talk about if I am cooking something or using something that someone sent in, that's the only time I will talk about spices. Other than that, I don't. Luke Alamada says, hey, Happy New Year. Right back at you, sir. Cheers. Noobs Barbecue says, any advantage for using the Cambro versus cooler other than weight? So here's what I explained to Texas Barbecue. Was it Texas Barbecue guy? I can't remember what his exactly channel was. But so here's the thing. I akin the cooler to like a house and a Cambro to like an apartment complex. Okay. Now, hear me out. If you have more than one family living in a house, it can get kind of hectic, right? Even though you can put stuff in it and it'll do what it needs to do when it's a living space, right? But let's say you have a multi-family apartment, okay? The organization is there in the multi-family apartment. And again, I use the Cambros more for transportation than I do for hot holding. Now, if I'm on site somewhere and I need to hot hold something, then I'll use them for that there. But the Cambros, because they have the ability to stack things in there vertically, I could put half pans, I could put full pans in there. It allows me the ability to pull food out at a glance if I'm delivering food. Like for Thanksgiving, I fill up the two big Cambros and the smaller black Cambro, and turkey's all in the trunk of my car because I had that much food I had to deliver. This year I delivered like 6 or 8 briskets, some ribs. I had pulled pork. I had wings. I mean, I feel like you name it. I had lamb. So the thing is, if I put all that stuff in the cooler and I need to reach down into the cooler and pull something out of the cooler, I have to take everything out individually, pull out the one thing that I need, find a place to put that, put everything back inside the cooler. No. Open the door on the Cambro, I'll pull out the one thing I need, be it from the bottom shelf or the top shelf, pull it out, close the Cambro door, snap the hinge, take it, deliver it, here's your food, turn around, get back in the car, and I'm on my way. That's the advantage of a Cambro. Jeff says he hasn't smoked anything in over 2 weeks. He's going stir crazy. Ah, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Jeff. Living in the Northeast can be a beast, no pun intended. And I know that weather up there can be rather crazy. Jody Bishop says, Happy New Year. Driving through Baltimore next week. Where can I find the pit beef you're talking about? The pit beef, if you want to get pit beef, you go to Chaps. CHAPS. It's on Baltimore National Pike. It's on the west side of the city. But just look up Chaps Barbecue, I guess it is, or Chaps Pit Beef. And you can definitely, if you're driving down 95, Chaps is right off of 95. Barbecue with Rick says, Love my Smoky Mountains. A great smoker. All right. Pat Conti says, Hey, in the middle of the barn. Oh, Noob says his is still in the box. Won't open until tomorrow. All right. Gosh, Pickle says he loves. See, that's why he's all particular. Pickle Charlie, you all particular about the Weber Smoky Mountain. Man, it's nothing personal. It's just I use my drums now. I'll say that I don't know. The Weber Smoky Mountain has a unique, how do I say, what is it? Modular design. So, what's it? Joe has taken his Weber Smoky Mountains and he's mixed and matched them and done other things and put stuff in it and made them taller and all types of stuff, man. So the modular design is great. Pat says Happy New Year. Up, he put the S on the end of years too. He didn't hear my whole spiel about that, but it's all right. Puma Pork says hello everyone and Happy New Year. Yes, indeed. Bought the 18 mainly because I was just using it for the video. I'm sure I use it more. No one had the 22. Well, I always tell everyone to buy the biggest one that you can. Yeah. Yep. See, Lou just beat me to it. Lou said, I just dusted off my 5-year-old Weber Smoky Mountain this past weekend. It's definitely reliable. Can you hear my cats just playing with something on the floor? Reliable cooker. I'll never get rid of it. Just wish I had the 22, not the 18. But yeah, this is Max. This is Max. All right, yo, what's up with you? Whoa. All right, well, thank you very much for the pounds, man. I appreciate that. Where can I get the dry fruit that I can turn into powder to add to my rub? I don't know. I have no idea, Mike. Uh, you might be able to order it off of Amazon, like some dry fruit and then blend it up. Dude, that's what's up. This is, well, Max. Appreciate that donation. Noob says I was considering the Cambro for SEA, but I'll be venturing out this year. Why would you use the Cambro for SEA event? There's no need. Um, I mean, aside from trying to keep your state cool, but if you have a cooler, like when I go to an SEA event, I take a cooler with me, a small little cooler that like I'm using um for my food. Like if I'm taking some sandwiches or something up there, and then I might eat one of the sandwiches I took with me, and then I'll put my steaks on ice while, just so they don't get super duper hot. But other than that, I can't see why you would need a Cambro for an SCA event. Um, Pickles is buy a mortar and pestle and make your own. Well, the whole thing is, the way I would think about the dried fruit is if you get someone to dry it out, or maybe even better, get a dehydrator, and then you can make your own fruit. Anyone ever use one of these little red smokers? Uh, Little red smoker. No, ever smoked in aluminum pans? Would it work in a vertical? Tyrone, I don't. So whenever I'm cooking something and if I'm trying to get smoke on it, I don't actually put it in pans. Now, once it's finished getting all the smoke it needs, I will wrap it up and I'll put it in pans. But that's twofold. One, I'm capturing the juices, and two, I'm using that so that I can have an easy means of transportation of the food, to and from the garage or the side of the house to inside the kitchen. All right. Ron McCray says, Happy New Year. Thanks for the brisket advice. It worked out well. That's what's up. Noob says, Meow. When did I start shaving my head? I started shaving my head like reliably probably in 2018, mid 2018, early 2019. Other than that, I would just take clippers and then my I would take it down to where it's about this, and this is about, I think I shaved on Saturday morning or Sunday morning. Sunday morning. And Wednesday is usually the day I shave again. I usually shave on Sundays and I shave on Wednesdays unless I have something going on over the weekend. Uh Noob says I do low and slow and let it rest for 10 minutes. I didn't know there was an advantage with the Cambro. I've seen others using them. I've always just used an igloo cooler. Now, I mean, if you, I don't use a cooler. Like people put, I'm gonna wrap this brisket in a towel and put it in the cooler. For what, man? I've always stated, and I've said the same thing. You put a brisket in a cooler, it's going to maintain temperature, and to me, it's going to overcook it. It's going to be overdone. You want that brisket to actually cool. You want it to come down in temperature. Now, you're not trying to shock it, so I'm not putting it in the refrigerator, but I'll let the brisket sit out on the counter for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. 2 hours is the absolute most before I slice it up. Once I slice it up, then I will say, okay, either I have to take this, to an event, or this is going to someone and they can reheat it, or I'll reheat it for them. But other than that, man, I'm not. I do not put stuff in coolers. Got a new dehydrator for Christmas. Look, pickles. That's what's up. Got any New Year's resolutions? I don't make resolutions, man, because I know I'm not the one to keep them. I don't do a whole bunch of planning ahead. Yeah. All right. A Harbor Freight dehydrator. Okay. Noobs, man. I wish I could tell you I'm not yawning, or I will stop yawning, but that's just not the case. Right on cue. You guys start talking about it, it happens. Daniel Anderson, how you doing this evening? He says, Hey Dash, what's going on? I'm glad to see everybody was able to. I know it's contagious. That's why I don't talk about it. I want to up my editing game, my resolution. Well, Pickles, man, I tell you, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And I tell you, editing, whew, it is not for the faint of heart. Video editing is definitely not for the faint of heart. Uh, Definitely not for the faint of heart. I did a video where I had multiple camera angles, and it took me like 3 days to get the video done because I was having such a hard time. So editing does suck. Daniel, since he just woke up, he had to work last night. Well, that's what's up. Eric says that he likes that one, Pickles, video editing. Look, Eric is not doing too bad of a job with his videos. Happy New Year to you too, Jimmy. I appreciate that. New Year, same yawn. Guilty as charged. What's my favorite barbecue sauce? I really, it's not that it's necessarily my favorite. It's one that everybody knows. It's what is it? Sweet Baby Ray's. Um, I use Sweet Baby Ray's around the house, and I'll use it in, when I'm doing different things for my family because it's safe. I do have a barbecue sauce that I use that I doctor up when I'm doing cooks for other folks, though. But one of the barbecue sauce that I really like is Rudy's barbecue sauce. It's got a bit of a tang to it that some people like and other people don't. Uh, yep, Sweet Baby Ray's is one that I use around the house. Been using that one around the house for quite some time. Cooking with Josh and Babe. Is this Josh? I guess it is Josh because Babe has her own channel. So happy New Year to you too, sir. Daniel Anderson says, adulting. Adulting. I understand, man. It is crazy. You know, as a kid, you want to do nothing but be an adult. As an adult, you want to do nothing but be a kid again. Jeez. Sean said, what's good, my barbecue people? Josh, Josh, Josh. We're gonna cheer. Everybody cheer Josh. Josh, 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 Josh. Comment. Josh, Josh, Josh. Go, Josh. Have you tried yellow mustard sauce yet? No. No, I have not. No, I have not. We have not tried the barbecue sauce. I don't know what it is, man. I'm telling you, they get funny about changing up different things and doing those sauces. It's all still sitting in the box. It's not tucked away, but I have not tried it yet. No problem, Josh. The witness, good to see you too. Happy New Year to you too, man. Happy New Year. Wife and I experiment with barbecue sauce by making our own. There's nothing wrong with that, Mr. Hoggett. Sorry, it moved around. Mike says he and his wife are experimenting with barbecue sauce by making your own. There's nothing wrong with that. Mr. Hawkins says any projections on the Seahawks versus Eagles on Sunday. The Seahawks don't play this. Do they play? No, they don't play the Seahawks on. Do they? Nah. Do they? I haven't even checked the schedule yet, man. I take it. I don't really look at the schedule until like Thursday, only because I'm typically doing too many other things early in the week. This week, you know, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I've been doing other things. I haven't even checked it. But if the Eagles are playing the Seahawks, you know what my projection is, Mr. Hockett. Yeah. Mustard sauce is real good. Vinegar base is my go-to on pork. Well, thank you. I'm growing my beard back, so don't get used to this. Get that Georgia game. Go Tigers. Man. Happy New Year, Wes. Right back at you. Thanks, but I prefer the big beard, so yes, Eric. There's plenty of mustard-based barbecue sauces out there. I know I've tried a few. I don't. Again, like it's one of those things where I don't know. You have your favorite beer, or you have your favorite. I don't say mayonnaise, your favorite ketchup, your favorite condiments. You know, some of those things that kind of just remind you of childhood. That like mustard barbecue sauce is just not something I grew up on. Not that it can't be good. It's just different, man. It's different. So Eric says a little goes a long way. Mustard is one of those flavors, kind of like salt, where like you put it in something, you know it's in there. Vinegar too is one of those other ones that's like, whoa. It does not say 2010. Oh man. I'll edit it afterward. I can't edit it right now. Darn it. How did I make a mistake like that? Anyway, so my wife made some sangria. We had this wine, I guess she got, and the wine says it was like a chocolate, like a red wine chocolate something. So she was like, it's not too bad. But we had some frozen fruit, so she took that frozen fruit with the wine, and she poured it in with that, and then she added a little bit of vodka, a little bit of triple sec, and then a little bit of orange juice. And she's like, I was making my own sangria, but she said she wasn't a fan. Let's see if I can edit this title from my work phone. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. Does it really say 2010? I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. How was 2010? 2010 for me? Shoot, I was what? 30? Yeah. my, let's see, my channel. Can I edit the title? Oh, look, edit. All right. Hopefully that didn't mess anything up. And I fixed it. Now it should say 2020. You might have to refresh your screen though. Does it say 2020 now? Gosh, that was my first mess up. I said, well, you know what it is? Whoever said I look 10 years younger with the fact that my beard is cut, that's why I put it for yes. Yep, I cut my see, I knew one of you guys would be on the same path as I was. Cut his beard back to 2010. Shoot, this is how I used to wear my beard back in the day, actually. So, I used to like grow it to the point where I would use like a number, I guess it was a 00, and and it was just like this. So it was like nice. It was just enough there, barely there. Thank you. You guys let me know. I'm only human. I make mistakes. Oh, thanks, Pickles. I appreciate that, man. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's funny. When I was younger, people used to tell me I look like Ice Cube all the time. I don't necessarily see it, but it's all right. O'Shea Jackson. Yeah, I'll take that. If only I could have some O'Shea Jackson's money. How about them apples? Anyway, let me look back. Yes, indeed, I am definitely human. I feel like I'm more human than most. Okay, got a ticket to take care of first thing in the morning. Oh wait, that's right. I'm working late tomorrow. My coworker will deal with that. Mr. Hackett, I love you right back. You ever smoked oxtail? Never smoked oxtail. I've really only ever cooked oxtail and made stews. Someone asked me to smoke oxtail not too long ago, and I just haven't done it. Oxtail is not the cheapest thing, and every now and again, I'll just kind of get in the mood where I'm like, you know what? Today's the day I'm getting some oxtail. And I make a mean oxtail stew. Mean oxtail stew in the Instapot. So maybe one of these days I'll bring you guys along. Brother Bears is what's going on, everybody. What were my lessons learned, good and bad, in the past year? That's a good question, Pickles. My gosh, time management is one of the things that I really need to get under control. I do have it pretty under control, but there have been times when I'll be up all daggone night, and then I'm like, crap, like for Christmas Eve, I cooked. I was up all night long, and like by the time I finished, by the time I started getting stuff together to get it finished, I didn't have enough time, and I ended up being an hour behind schedule. So that was one of the things that I didn't particularly care for. Gosh, care for. But everyone was like, "Oh, I'm just chilling in the house. It's no big deal, no problem." But Christmas Eve was, yeah. I still need to work on communication with customers because there's always an issue every now and again. Again, for Christmas Eve, I had a woman who, when she texted me, and this is why I try to do things via text and not just over the phone. When she texted me, she said, "Hey, I wanted to get some brisket and I want to get some pulled pork for my family for Christmas Eve." I'm like, "Okay, cool, no problem. What exactly are you thinking?" She's like, "Oh, well, we're having these number of people. I need food for them." Sorry. So by the time it's all said and done, I'm like, "Oh, you probably could use 3 pounds of brisket and 3 pounds of pulled pork or something like that. Or 4 and 4. So she's like, "Okay." She's like, "But hey, if I get a whole brisket, will that make it easier for you as opposed to you having to cook a small amount, then have to sell the rest?" And I'm like, "Yes, it will." So she's like, "All right, well, I'll just get a whole brisket." All right, I left it at that. So when I came time to send her invoice, and I didn't send her, I thought I sent her invoice ahead of time, but I didn't send her invoice. She just she lucked out and I didn't send an invoice ahead of schedule. So when I was confirming her address and getting ready to head out to her house and everything like that, she says, "Hey, I don't know if you know this, but I never received the invoice." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe I fat fingered it," which happens. You type in someone's email address and people have funky email addresses. And anyway, I sent her the invoice, and the invoice was just for brisket. So then she hit me up right away. She says, "Hey, I only see brisket on the invoice." And I'm like, "Yes, you wanted brisket." And she's like, "I wanted brisket and pulled pork." I'm like, "You told me you wanted a whole brisket." She's like, "Okay, hold on 1 second." So she goes back into the text messages, and she said, "I'm sorry. I see where the confusion is." She said, "I should have said I wanted the whole brisket as well as the pulled pork, but I told you I told you I wanted the whole brisket." And she said, "I guess you thought I wanted the whole brisket as opposed to whatever the piece and the portion of brisket and pulled pork." And I said, "That's exactly it. I thought you only wanted the brisket." And she said, "No, no, no. I need brisket and pulled pork." I said, "Luckily enough for you, I have some pulled pork left over at home. I can swing back to the house and pick it up." Now, mind you, I had 6 deliveries on Christmas Eve, and I was able to stop back at home. But me stopping back at home put me further behind schedule. By the time it was all said and done, I was like 2 hours behind schedule. Anyway, Jay, what's going on, man? Rob, what was that? Excuse me, not Rob. R. Barrett Jr. Happy New Year Dash. Have you ever thought about franchising my brand? How can I franchise my brand, man? My brand is me. I can't franchise something I don't have an official storefront for. Not yet. I'm not there yet. What's going on with you, Jay? Jay, definitely appreciate you popping in and saying what's up. Sonny Jesus, Happy New Year! Right back at you, man. William says, "Hey, yo, what up, y'all?" Eric Thomas is number one Saints fan in the house. Where? I'm looking around. I don't see any Saints fans in the house. You customers a flyer with bullet points of guidelines. No, I wish. So, Mr. Hockett, typically, whenever I take food to someone's house, I just tell them what they need to do to reheat their food. And usually I always carry, there's typically 3 or 4 things I always have with me. Okay? One is a lighter. 2 is a knife. 3 is a pen. 4 is a Sharpie. And I try to almost always have cash in my pocket. One of those pens I just knocked on the floor. Anyway, so whenever I get to someone's house and I give them the instructions and they look at me quizzically or with a funny face, I'm like, "Hold on here, give me the foil, and I'll write the instructions on it." And all it is simply 300 degrees for about a half an hour, 45 minutes for almost anything that I give anyone to warm it back up. Renew Barbecue says, "Hey, Happy New Year!" Right back at you, sir. Eric Thomas, Happy New Year to you too. He also missed the memo about putting S at the end of a year. Chef Ant Autumn Day says, "What would be one food item or food category that you could add to your specialty offerings that you would stretch me out of my comfort zone in 2020?" It would probably be goat. I don't cook much goat, but Mr. Hockett and I have been talking. Not Mr. Hockett. Victor and I have been talking about cooking goat. Victor believes that goat is going to be the future. One of those meats that will become a staple in the not so near future because it's rare, it's growing in popularity. But other than that, maybe some more fish. I don't know. Teaching some classes. Atlanta is waiting. I don't know, man. I thought about teaching some classes. I thought about trying to monetize, like doing an entire brisket cook, and it would be like a multiple hour brisket cook, and I could take you along for it. But it's just one of those things, man, where I don't know if I want to teach you exactly what I'm doing yet. I don't know if I'm. I don't know if I'm there yet. I have no problem teaching. You guys know that, and some of you guys know I used to actually teach computer stuff, so I don't have a problem teaching at all. And that's kind of how I got into doing the barbecue videos, is because I had a friend who wanted me to tell him about a specific subject. an idea. And I said, you know what, I got you. I do one better than just trying to tell you over the phone or send you a text message. So I'm going to put it into a video. And I put it into a video, and some of you guys found that video. And that is really how I got started back up my resurgence in doing YouTube videos after I had stopped. I put down the camera for a few years. Okay, so Mr. Hawkins says I'm thinking more of the ordering side. All right, well, to be honest with you, Mr. Hawkins, each order is unique, and I try to base how much I try to recommend to someone on the person that's ordering the food. If they let me know they have a specific budget, like I don't think it's as cut and dry yet for me to be able to say, okay, here's some bullets. If you want this, then check this. If you want that, then do this. If you want this, then do that. It's a little more fluid, and I try to be a little more fluid because I feel like sometimes answering questions and being able to dynamically suggest something will get me the sale rather than a cut and dry form that doesn't conform to everybody. Yeah. Pickles says, I gotta carry a knife. One never knows. Mike Montoya, what's going on? Happy evening, or good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Never had goat. Yeah. Goat's good. Pickle says, all right. Goat's good. Beware rams in the rut. All right. Sean, how am I done? I'm done. I think I'm like a medium. I'm doing great, Sean. What's the most food someone has ordered like in one time? I've done an event. I had an event for a couple hundred people. That was the most food someone has ordered at one time. Yeah. Other than that, yeah. Yeah, take a moment and congratulate Pickles or Charlie from Pickles Barbecue. He reached 1,000 subscribers today. But Mike, yeah, that was the most food that I cooked for one single event. It was, that was for 300 people, and it ended up being, it was brisket, chicken, pork, sides. Excuse me. If you ever seen the behind the scenes of the catering event, it was a 4-part series, and that video was the video behind that catering event. And when I finally got to taking the food to the event, yeah, it was a lot. Eric, well, Eric, we gave you some advice on how to get to 1,000 subscribers, man. All you gotta do is put that advice into play, and you can be there too. Definitely. So I'm gonna be filming, once I finish with you guys here, I'm gonna be filming the year in review video, and I'll be talking about like the subscribers and the statistics and things like that on my channel. And I always geek out about stuff like that. You might not necessarily think that's cool, but I always geek out about how many subscribers I've gained and everything like that. So you guys who are here, let me give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek, since we're talking about subscribers. And me, I'm all about the analytics and the metrics and stuff like that. So what's crazy, so I have 2017, 2018, and 2019 to be able to compare apples to apples, right? How do you find your viewing hours? I don't know whether or not it is. So if you go to the database, or like you can find, like if you go to the channel, you can't see that from here, but if you go to the channel information, you can see your analytics. And under your analytics, you should be able to see, even if you see like the last 30 days of the analytics, you can change them to like the last year or whatever you need to change them, or 2000, whatever, say 90 days or whatever it is. Or you can actually do lifetime, and then you can see how many hours you have watch time on your videos. Let's see. Yep, YouTube Power Studio works as well, but I find that YouTube Power Studio is always like a day or two behind. So, but here's some statistics for you guys. So in 2017, I gained 755 subscribers. Okay, the net gain was 755 subscribers. For 2018, I gained 5,431 subscribers, and then for 2019, I gained 6,631 subscribers. And I just want to say thank you to you guys all so very much. Yeah. And it definitely, the consistency has paid off. So for the caterers out there, is 20 to 25 expensive for a rack of ribs? No. I charge $25 for a rack of ribs. Baby back ribs though, not St. Louis or not spares. I charge $25 for a rack of baby back ribs. Well, thank you, Kelvin. I appreciate that. And I said Kelvin. It's not Kevin. It's Kelvin. Definitely. No problem about. Nope, I don't actually particularly care for Facebook. I tell you, Facebook, Facebook is a drain to me sometimes. Like, I don't know the people who, in my opinion, the people who, I get on Facebook and I talk to my friends. I don't do the social thing really on Facebook. I'm not trying to solicit business via Facebook. I have a Facebook page for my business just because it's a requirement nowadays. But Facebook is my least favorite of the socials. And that's just my own personal preference. As far as my favorite is going to be Instagram because it's quick and dirty. You can say what you need to say. Actually, and then my least favorite is going to be Twitter. And the reason why is because I've been on Twitter for a very, very, very long time. I think I got on Twitter like 2006, 2007. So I've been up and down with Twitter. And right now, Twitter is just like a fire hose. You're following so many people, you can never really see what someone is saying. And the conversations that you used to be able to have via Twitter, like natively or innately, are just gone. And Twitter is more about shouting in a crowded room, if you know what I mean. And like, I'm just not into it any longer. So I do not frequent Twitter at all. Yeah. Let's see. Handyman says hello. Eric says Twitter sucks. I'm not a Facebook guy. Oh, I'm not a Facebook either. I am an Instagram guy though. Yeah, man. Well, like, I prefer Instagram. That's just how I am. Again, Facebook, it's like Facebook really is truly for people who I know. So like people who have friended me, some of you guys who wanted to friend me on Facebook, if I didn't accept your friend request, and it's nothing personal. It's just I'm like, yo, I don't really know you, and in order for me to, like, I try to keep my stuff pretty private. Like, I'll post stuff on Instagram and I'll post things on Facebook. But if you see me, if you know me on Facebook, I'm a way different person because I'm posting more personal things on Facebook. And that's just how I try to keep it. Brother Bear says Facebook, my book, face space. Yep. Handyman says Facebook is for watching grandkids. Eric says, can everyone post their Instagram here? Sure, why not? Bushy Bato, what's going on? Happy New Year to you too. Pickles, don't get me wrong. I love YouTube. I just don't know what's wrong with my subscriber count. I'm not trying hard enough, I guess. So, Sunny G, in order to gain subscribers on YouTube, you have to put in the work and put in the, you got to put in the time and put stuff on YouTube. That's it. I won't say Facebook is easy, but it's just a different crowd on Facebook, and I don't know. It's just YouTube is one crowd, Facebook is another crowd. Now there is some commingling, but for the most part, they're different groups of people. At least in my life, they're different groups of people. About the way I've set mine up. That's what's up, Mr. Hockey says Twitter and Instagram only. You and Big Mo K-Sign. That's what's up. Facebook is decent for messaging. Facebook Messenger can get a little bit much too, especially if you're in a few groups, group chats. Pickles, I know you're in the group chat, the hot seat survivors, and there are times when it can just get to be too much, man. I can be sitting at work and some of the West Coasters are having a discussion about something, or it could be first thing in the morning, and folks are having a discussion about something, and my wife is looking at me like, "Why's your phone going off so early in the morning? What's so important?" And I'm like, these guys are trying to help each other out, or they're trying to do this, or trying to do that, and it's just not convenient. And I don't like turning notifications off because I want to be notified of those conversations so that I can peek my head and say, "Oh, all right, I have something to contribute," or I don't. From based on I contribute. I won't say I do more watching and reading in that chat because it's just, it just is what it is. I don't always have something to contribute that will be positive, or I feel like sometimes it will be, I don't know. I'm a realist more often than not, and I don't let the little things that sometimes the mundane things don't bother me as much. So, people complain about this or complain about that. I'm just like, okay. But I just let it roll off my skin. But then I also have group chats with my friends, and if two or three of them start having a conversation, bing, 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 bing. Again, my wife is looking at me like I have two heads. You seem like a cool, humble guy, Mike. I am, man. I am. Definitely, I'm a regular dude. I say that all the time, and Kirk gives me grief about that. But I am a regular guy, man. I do my thing on YouTube, and I have a real life. I have a real job, and YouTube is not necessarily I won't say it's paying the bills, but it pays my cell phone bill every month. Let's put it that way. But I'm not getting rich. John says smoke in meats. All right. You should try a live stream. I'm gonna cook from now on. Sonny, you start live streaming too much, and it'll you have to get to the point where it's not all about like in moderation, all right? Because when I started doing the live stream, it was like, hey, let's hang out, let's talk for a minute, and then it got to a point where I had 10 or 15 of you guys who were always on here, and then I was like, all right, well, let's talk about something. What do you want to talk about specifically? And I didn't have a direction, and then we decided, well, we kind of fell into talking about something, a specific topic for the first hour, and then talking about something completely unrelated for the second hour. But yeah, Chuck from the Winking Pig Barbecue, he was just chilling in the background, not saying nothing. What's going on, man? Happy New Year. Hopefully your brew turned out all right. I use Facebook Messenger for most of my clients. Terry, nope. I don't want that. Send me a text message, all right? Because Facebook Messenger is unreliable. You will find, and I will guarantee, there will be someone who texts you or sends you a message via Facebook Messenger, and you're going to miss it. Or it's going to be a delay. You send me a text message, my phone goes off, I hear my phone, I answer my phone, I reply. That's it. There's no delay. Typically, delay on Facebook Messenger can be hours because I get other messages. And there are people who hit me up via Facebook Messenger, and when they do, I'm like, okay, hey, this is all well and good, but I need you to send me a text message, okay? And that does a few different things. It gives me a phone number that I have for them, okay, as opposed to just Facebook. I don't now you can have people's names. People's names on Facebook are not necessarily their real names. But if I have a phone number, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more at ease. One of the other things too, I get an email address from them because I want to send them an invoice. So if I have an email address, I have a phone number that allows me to be able to send them an invoice. Um, so yeah, just that's why I don't do group chats. I do not talk a lot there. Nah, no problem. Pets, Texas style. Pets, Texas style what? Texas style everything? Texas style anything? Happy New Year to you too. So you missed it in the beginning. I was talking about how it's a pet peeve of mine when people put the apostrophe S when wishing someone a Happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, but whenever you just wish someone a Happy New Year, there's no S. But that's just me. Pet peeve of mine from since I was a kid. Uh, the channel. I see here's for Thursday. Just sounds great people there, and I can only help. I agree. Bushy bottom. What else? What's up, Mike? Dash you. I mean, Charlie. You want me to call you? I can. I will. Yeah, I'll post my number in the what's the name chat. You can call me, and I'll call you. Right? You call me, and yeah, we'll link up, Charlie. All right. Okay, I'm gonna log off for the homebrew club on Affinity photo and listening. That's what's up, man. Well, that's great. Eric says, anyone else on Instagram, post your handle. My Instagram is Pickles. Oh, I needed to read between the lines, Pickles. Read between the lines. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sonny G's, Sonny Sturgis. All right. Definitely. Where'd Kent go? Pickles, you and Kent, man. I swear. I swear. Y'all just plants to just mess with me. I don't know, Pickles. I don't hate anybody. There's a couple people. But I don't hate you because, I mean, I know this is all good fun. And you know what? The whole thing, Charlie, is I can dish it as well as I can take it. So, yeah. All right. So, Steve says, can money be made on a smaller scale or more from catering jobs? Hope this makes sense. It does make sense. The whole thing is, you can make money on smaller jobs, but the profit margin goes up when you're doing a big catering job, okay? Or, yeah, the profit margin goes up because, so let's put this in basic numbers, right? Let's say I'm cooking one brisket and I'm using one brisket or cooking one brisket on my drum, okay? That drum is probably going to take, let's say it takes $5 in charcoal. All right, it doesn't take $5 in charcoal, but let's say it takes $5 in charcoal, one split, some water, seasoning, all of those things, right? Now, I'm doing one brisket on the drum. It'll take, 6 to 10 hours, okay, depending on how big the brisket is. All right, 6 to 10 hours of my life, cool. I take the same $5 worth of charcoal and I put that into Vicky. And in Vicky, I'm cooking 3 briskets at the same time. So for the same amount of money that I'm spending on fuel, I'm getting 3 times as amount of yield, okay? So the whole thing is the amount of money I'm going to make in the end is higher. Now, am I making money on that smaller cook? Yes, because that one brisket that I made yesterday, the brisket cost me $50, and I mean, I know I made 120 and some change on it. Now, of course, it was a smaller brisket, all right, and it was a smaller cook, and it's one of those things. But if I put 2 briskets in there, For the same $5 worth of charcoal, I could have made $250. So hopefully that makes sense. Right back at you. Brother Bear, I have no plans on putting any of my grills or smokers on a trailer for right now. And that's just because it's far easier for me to cook at home and not try to cook on site somewhere. It's not feasible. I'd have to do too much in order to make that happen. If you understand what I'm saying, like I'd have to take too much wood with me. I'd have to take too much. There's so many things that are easier because I know I have them at home that it's just easier for me to cook at home. Now, if I was trying to cook out in the street somewhere, like I know I'm gonna say it's a difficult time, but when I have to load up my like the 5 foot grill or any of the other grills and take them and transport them places, it's an ordeal. Easy Bake Barbecue says, Happy New Year, Dash. Well, Happy New Year to you too. Definitely. And Pickles, I know. I try. Also takes a lot less time to smoke one brisket versus 5. I don't agree with you there, Chuck, because it's I guess it's a control thing. It will be easier, more or less, because there's not so much like like yes, it'll be less time, but it's not less time because it's only one. It's less time because it's just less food. I don't know how to explain that one. Like because if I'm cooking 2 briskets, then I'll finish the briskets here inside in the oven. Now because I'm cooking more than 2 briskets, I'll have to finish outside on Bessie. So like for Christmas Day, I cooked was it 6 briskets, 6 briskets. And because I did those 6 briskets out there, I had to finish them all out there. I didn't have room in the oven. But yes, it took a little bit more time, but it was for no other reason than I didn't have an ability to cook or finish those briskets any faster. Yep. So question: a lot of restaurants make money on drinks or sides. Markup is large. Yes, exactly. Pickles. Brisket is my loss leader, and though I'm making money on brisket, I don't make as much profit on brisket as I would like. I don't necessarily make that 3 times that I won't say that I preach, but that I talk about trying to make 3 times the amount that I have put into it. And the reason is because it just prices it'll price I'll price myself out of the market. Now, are there people or places that can get $25 or $30 for a pound for brisket? Yes, I just can't do that yet. Um, oh yeah, Jeff just also hits the nail on the head. I don't want to spend a night on site somewhere. You're absolutely right. Tyrone says, Happy New Year, Dash. All the blessings on this year for you and your family. Thank you, sir. Love you much, bro. Keep on cooking barbecue. I definitely will. Yep, you're right. So, Chuck, I didn't think about that. You're right. The prep and the post cook, but the time in the smoker is close to the same. You're right. Um, Definitely. But the whole thing with that, Chuck, is if you're if you're making more on it, the extra time that you spend, it works itself out because the you're being paid for your time. I still do things in batches, so when I'm slicing briskets, I'm slicing briskets. I'm slicing brisket for 20 minutes to a half 20 minutes to a half an hour or an hour, depending on however many I have, and sometimes that's it. This sangria is just not sitting with me all that well. uh, First Love Smokers and Barbecue says hello. Hello to you too. What makes you the most money between chicken, pulled pork, brisket, lamb? Um, it'll probably be pork and or chicken. I think it's chicken make. I think chicken makes me the most money because for the amount of money that I'm spending on it and the yield of return, I think that's the highest percentage. So technically, I can sell the most of it. But I think as far as profitability, it will probably be chicken, pork, lamb, and then brisket in that order. From most profitable to least profitable. Without getting too much into your personal, how do you account charge for time? You just answered my dilemma. So that's the whole thing, Steve. I charge one time. So when I'm buying food, right? So let's say I spend $5 on some brisket. Now it's not $5, but the brisket, I'm just saying $5 for an easy number. Don't hold that against me. So it's $5 for the brisket. I'll charge $5 to buy the brisket, $5 for my time, and then $5 for brisket. So that technically means I should be charging for that 5-pound brisket that I bought. I should be charging $15 for a brisket. That's how you charge for your time. Other than that, like when people want to say, "Oh, if I give you this, can you smoke it for me?" I don't really do that because then I'm going to have to actually charge you for what my time is worth, and my rate per hour for what my time is worth is way higher than what it would be when I'm cooking. That incredible Ty says, "Hello, Dash. Happy New Year to all. Happy New Year to you too, sir." I'm trying to talk about the economy of scale. The economy of scale makes large cooks more profitable. Definitely. Definitely, Chuck. Do I charge tax on my sales? Yes, I do. I obviously, if I'm doing cash, then no. But if I'm using the credit card machine, then yes. First Love Smoke. Okay. Former Grown Folks Network. All right. Well, that's what's up, man. Oh boy. What do we have going on here? What's going on, Dash? Hi, guys. Oh crap. Dash is yawning already. Man, you late. Russell, you late. We've been yawning. I've been yawning already. uh, Pickles says I've just done a lot of free cooks. Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm like, look, I don't want to cook for free for nothing. What the Joker say? If you're good at something, don't do it for free. That like when I heard that line, I was like, man, he's right. If you're good at something, don't do it for free. Like, yeah. Funny enough, I actually work on an IRS contract. I probably work closer with the IRS than most of you guys. Anyway, oh goodness, it's just it's just cool to hang out with you guys sometimes and shoot the breeze. Cooked my wings and the skin was rubber. What did I do wrong? You need a higher temperature. Chicken and turkey, you have to cook it closer to 300 degrees. The chicken skin, or you just have to let it sit out, hang out in the smoker for a while. But my go-to to help thwart that rubbery skin is to cook at a higher temperature. So, yeah, there's that. mm. So, what else did you guys do? What did you guys cook for New Year's Day? She's my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. That's what's up, Mike. You don't cook for your family? Steve, no problem. And it was rubber? There's no way. I don't know. He said the Portex. It works good for chicken wings. So the Portex or the I guess he was smoking them though. Um, I don't know what was your setup. I do a lot of free woodwork for my family and friends. I really should charge for my time, but it's a hobby, so I don't know. But that's the whole thing, Eric. I don't like doing stuff for free because I feel like you give somebody an inch, they're gonna take a mile, and I don't want to be taken advantage of. So I very rarely do something for folks for free, like for Christmas Eve. There was a lady who used to her son used to go to the school with the boys. And she says, "Hey, I have this turkey." I'm like, "Okay, I'm listening." She says, "Is there any way you can smoke this turkey for me?" And I'm like, "I really don't want to smoke this turkey for you." But I said, "You know what? Sure." And the reason I said sure I would do it for her is because her son is a little bit older than my middle son. And he's actually older than my number one son, but he's the same size just about as my number two son. So she's like, "Look, we have these clothes that he barely wore. do you want us to bring clothes over? Like he started with some extra uniforms. Like here, there's an extra pair of gym pants, gym uniform, shirts. Do you want them? I'm like, yeah, sure. You know how much money I'm saving on uniforms? And I was like, look, I gotta give you something. She's like, here's a couple. Give me a couple bucks for it. You can have it. I'm like, great. Then she's like, hey, the uniform stuff worked out, and taste tester number two was really about the same size as my son. I have this bag of clothes. You can have them. And I'm like, what? What? So she, a whole bunch of stuff, right? And she's given me clothes 2 or 3 times in the past year from him purging from his only child. I won't say they must not. I won't say they must shop often, or I don't know. But she's giving me 2 or 3 bags of clothes, and I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm going to tell you I'm going to charge you for something when you help me out. So if someone helps me do something, then yes, I'm going to remember that and do something for them too. It's like bartering. All right, I can, whatever the time it takes for me to cook a turkey for you, based off of all of the things that you've done for me in the past year or two, I got you. There's no problem with me doing that. But if there's only a one way relationship or one dimensional type thing, nah, I'm not gonna be able to cook that for you. I'm not gonna be able to do that for you because, and I'll list the reason. Hey, look, I'm not cooking that day. I'm not cooking that weekend, or unfortunately, I have something else going on. Sometimes it can be an excuse, but a lot of times it's the truth. Hey, look, I'm not cooking. I don't cook every single day, but for this lady, she helped me out, and yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Big Steve says he cooked sausage, chicken, and seafood gumbo. That's what's up for New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. Tyrone says, have I ever done jerk chicken in the past? Just curious. I actually love jerk chicken. I've done jerk chicken a lot. I have a jerk chicken rub that I found from the restaurant store of all places that I really, really like. And I haven't done any jerk chicken wings in a while, so I might have to do some soon. So stay tuned. I have videos of me doing, and I just haven't necessarily title it jerk this or jerk that, but it'll be like chicken legs or chicken wings with the vortex, chicken wings, chicken legs with the slow and sear. Most of the time, the chicken that I'm doing on the grill, if I'm cooking it hot and fast, even though it's indirect, it typically is jerked. Yeah, I like jerk too. Brown overnight, indirect heat on the grill. Baking powder is good for crispy skin also, Tyrone says, for your poultry. New Year's Day, I smoked chicken, ribs, black beans, and gumbo. Twaski says. Hey, easy bake, be easy. Jerk is best grilled. I like jerk indirect. Um, I don't. I really like to make sure the chicken is done. And when you're grilling the chicken and jerk, I don't. Sometimes you can burn it if it's cooked direct. I cook for the family, wife, and kids. I'm the reason my wife had to have weight loss surgery. Well, sorry to hear that, Mike. If Pickles is there, where's the free Woodward? I sure can, Russell. You come and you bring them to me. You bring some beer along with it as far as compensation or as compensation, and I got you. Will I ever go full time barbecuing? So, Brother Bear, you must be new here. I did full time barbecue for a year and a half. I got laid off at the end of 2014, and for 2015 into early 2016, I did barbecue exclusively. So I've been there, done that. I went back to work because I needed a full time income or a more steady income to send my kids to private school. So I smoked snapper on altar planks for New Year's Day, I guess. Perfect. Or New Year's Eve. You can get alder planks off of Amazon. It's the easiest place. I found them. I see them pop up on my, feed with Amazon every now and again. I've also seen alder planks in. I was in a Ace Hardware or like Walmart. You may be able to find them. I saw them in Ace Hardware. There were the cedar, alder, and there was one other one. Crap. But you can find them. You can find the planks, definitely. But alder is one that I've seen recently, and I know Mr. Hockett and Victor have been talking about alder. I need to find some and get some alder like wood to try alder soon. Uh, Russell, I know what you mean. He said, I don't think your beer will make it that far. Well, you can still try. Greenhorn Barbecue and Beer says, Happy New Year. Right back at you, sir. Mm. Bickle says, drive a truck, a tanker. Yes, then it'll definitely make it. I do have an LLC, Terry. I do have an LLC. That was one of the first things that I did. I actually formed an LLC for my own protection. Just, people get sue happy, and you can sue a company that has very little assets. So, yeah. Williams says, get a random alder in with cedar packs every now and again. Good for fish. He says, Todd, other Todd. Hey, Todd. Which Todd are you talking about? Other Todd. Can you smoke with alder? Apparently, alder is a great mild wood for smoking, though the majority of the Pacific Northwest guys tell me alder and salmon is phenomenal. Uh, Am I willing to use alder chips wrapped in foil? I don't see why I wouldn't use alder chips. I actually was looking for alder chips recently, and I couldn't find alder chips. I did see an alder plank, but of course I wasn't looking for an alder plank. But maybe I need to like start using some planks on my wife's outdoor oven. I don't think we've used that thing like ever since I've gotten a Traeger. I do everything on a Traeger that I would normally have been doing on my wife's. Like yesterday, I made some. I still don't know. I put them away. I roasted some acorn squash out there on the Traeger. And that would have been something I'd have done in the oven or on my wife's outdoor oven, the propane grill. And I was like, I'll start the Traeger. I'll do it on Traeger. Today, I made the rib roast. The rib roast was done on a Traeger, and it was just like, man, it was great. So they had a decent smoke ring on it. It didn't have much smoke flavor, but yeah. Number 28 thumb, Mesquite Nation. Oh goodness. You guys, this is so funny. I am not a big fan of mesquite. Just that's all. That's all. Uh, so fish would be good with alder apparently. Alder and catfish and swai. All right, I haven't had swai in a while. I need some of that. Lox are traditionally smokers. Actually, lox is traditionally smoked in alder. Hmm, that's what's up. Did not know that. Uh, Musketeer. Oh, Pickles. See, this is why I like Charlie. Charlie says mesquite is good at times, but overpowering. I just think it's too much. You don't get alder around here. I don't have any alder around here either. Uh, I've been thinking about that, but I have a license to sell. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I understand. Uh, So Jeff says I've been thinking about smoking meats for friends and their coworkers. They have tasted my food and think it might work. So some side cash being that I have the time, so why not? I agree with you, man. That's how I got my start, just doing little things here and there, and it just progressed. And if you're doing it right, then it'll progress too. Bushibato says Happy New Year, right back at you, sir. Pickle says Mesquite okay with beef. Okay. Yeah, can't go Team Mesquite, Team Pecan here in the South. What do I think about Lang smokers? I think Lang smokers are dope. Langs have been around for a while, and I know quite a few people who are cooking with Langs. Nothing against them. I think that you know, if I had the money to be able to afford a Lang, I'd probably have one. But I really want a what is it? A double 84 deluxe. with the char grill. Yeah, on a trailer. Now I want that one on a trailer just so I can move it around, and take it places. I'm going places. Mm. Greenhorn says I've known more people with the last name older than the real wood. Todd says he can make mesquite work with anything. Well, that's what's up, man. Readily available on cheap. I guess out there in the West. Man, Steve, no need to rush that. I'll put it like this. I will actually actively look for some. All right, don't waste. I won't say don't waste your money. Don't spend the money on shipping it out. Like hold on to it. I will try to find some locally. All right, seriously, hold on to it. I'll try to find some. Like I said, I just haven't looked for it. Mesquite charcoal, all the chips through Ace. I'm known as a barbecue guy. So I get all my stuff shipped. Yep. I was in the Ace Hardware. The whole thing is the Ace Hardware were it's not the closest one, but the one that I was at, it's like 10 miles away. It's not very far. It's just like a 20-minute drive. And I just wasn't way out that way. I don't get out there that often. So when I was there. Da, 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 da. Terry says I guess, Terry, are you saying you have a Jambo cooker? Todd has no taste buds. Ooh. William says I like to mix apple and mesquite. All right. All right. Jeff says a friend comp cooks for Lang. That's what's up. I mean, look, as they call it. I will send you some pics on Facebook. Maybe better than wood chunks. Usually cheaper too. Maybe. Peach wood, good. Smoke butt. So the whole thing is fruit woods are light in flavor. And what you find is pork shoulder, beef, you want a heavier, thicker wood that'll give you a more robust or deeper flavor. So that's why a lot of people like mesquite, hickory. I like oak. Oak is a middle of the road plain, plain seasoning or plain smoke. But you could, you could sit here and argue with folks about the type of wood that you use for cooking all day. I try not to get in those discussions because I have what I like. So Jeff says apple and cherry with pork, cherry, and juice spritz. Vanna's doing good. Chuck, I'm trying to think what. She always needs something. I still haven't fixed the brakes yet. But I just took Vanna on Monday. I went down to Southern Virginia and back picking up a pinball machine. I know you guys really aren't into those videos, so I haven't filmed one in a while. But I went down to Southern Virginia. So it was a 3-hour ride down there and a 3-hour ride down there from my job, then a 3-hour ride to DC where I had to drop the thing off, and then an hour ride from DC to my house. Now the thing is, it was supposed to have been a 3-hour ride. It ended up taking me 4 hours to get down there, 3.5 hours getting back from Southern Virginia. I was in like Norfolk area. I can't even remember the exact city I was in, but it was like Norfolk-ish. It was right near Norfolk. And then left from Norfolk, came up to DC, get to the lady's house who this machine is going into her house. She lives on the first floor in an apartment. I was not thrilled with the fact that I had to take this pinball machine, which probably weighs 300 pounds, up some steps. Like, there were 24 steps. I was not happy. Yeah, not happy. But it was a couple $100 for the run. It was good. I wouldn't mind a jumbo pit either. Mesquite can mix okay, but I like pecan, hickory, apple, cherry, peach, depending on, I guess, what you're putting. Yeah. Peach with pork butt. It tastes great to me. All right. Peach has a good flavor for chicken. This is the thing, the fruit woods do impart a sweeter, smokier flavor on whatever it is you're cooking. Apples, cherries, pecan, peaches, they're sweeter. Try it out. The carbonization burns off the strong linings. People plain minor lignins. But ends up the bottom strong hickory with a spicy savory whiskey taste. If you're into that, man, I'm just not. Well, pork. All right, so here's the thing, Los 85. Oh, Carlos, man, that's you, Carlos. Carlos. So we don't have post oak around here, and I think what I'm usually using is a white oak. I don't know. Whenever my arborist gives me wood, he's like, "Oh, that's oak." So I don't have that differentiation between post oak, red oak, white oak, blue oak, green oak, tall oak, short oak. Nah, man, we just have oak. All right, and that's it. And I think it's white oak. But I do have and have noticed that I have gotten some red oak at times. Other than that, yeah, I don't think we necessarily have post oak in my area. I know you guys down in Texas love cooking with and or on post oak. But yeah, and you guys, oh, we cook with post oak and we're doing this with post oak and we only use post oak and okay, I don't have it in my area. Or at least if I do, I don't know because the guy who brings me my wood doesn't differentiate. He just says it's oak, and every now and again he'll say there's red oak. That's about it. So I think oak is code name for white oak. I've come to the realization, and any other oak he names. But I'm not pressed. I don't. Yeah. Sean, thank you very much for hanging out. Terry says I cook with maple cherry and apple. Yep. Pear tree my buddy cut down a while back. I had was it pears we had plums. So I had plum. I had a plum tree in the yard at one point years ago. We cut that down and I saved the wood from that and I used it from time to time here and there and I didn't really notice much of a difference. We have peach in the yard and we have apple in the yard. No, Russell, the pinball machine is gone. Running low. Nothing much, man. How you doing this evening? Throwing mac and cheese on the pit. Do not over smoke it. The macaroni and cheese will definitely take smoke flavor on. Do not over smoke it. That is my suggestion because my wife does not actually like smoked macaroni and cheese. What a good side dish is you kind of have to you got to cater to your audience. If they like macaroni and cheese, you can do macaroni and cheese. Green beans, you could do baked beans. You could do, cold sides like some coleslaws, potato salads, macaroni salads. I mean, it's up to you, man, and what you're comfortable cooking. Enjoyable live stream. Good night, good people. Thank you very much, Steve, for hanging out. Uh, Straddle flight. Look, I'm not into pinball machines, arcade machines, man. I just move them. I use the van when it's downtime, and so I have a friend who is big into pinballs. He used to be big in arcade cabinets. He moved from arcade cabinets to pinball machines, and he needed some help moving and picking up a pinball machine once. And I mean, look, I'm all about multiple streams of income. So he hit me up and he's like, "Hey man, my wife's old minivan." He said, "Hey, can I hire you and your wife's van?" And I'm like, "For what?" And he's like, "Can you go pick up an arcade cabinet for me?" And I'm like, "Where is it?" He told me where it was, and I was like, "All right, well," he said, "Come up with a price for me, and then I'll pay you to go get it." And I'm like, "All right." So I said, "Well, give me a flat fee, and then pay me by the mile." And that's how we worked it out. And shoot, I think it's been 3 or 4 years. Every now and again, I think I do a moving job for a pinball or arcade cabinet once, probably average one a month. I'm not doing them like crazy, but there are times when I'm doing one on Saturday and one on Sunday where I'll pick up a machine. Like there's this one guy who again, my buddy put me in with this Facebook group, and they know that, hey, if you have a machine that needs to be moved in, around, or through Baltimore, I'm the guy. So, I go as far south as Southern Maryland. I've been as far east as Ohio. You guys remember when I went on that trip to Ohio? It was a multiple day trip because it was a 12-hour run. Um, but I went out to Ohio, as far west as Ohio, and as far north. I try not to go further north than, well, technically I've been up to like Quakertown in Pennsylvania, but staying on 95, I try not to go any further north than, let's say, New York. But, it depends. Each mile is billable. That's how I look at it. And if people are willing to pay it, then I'll go get them. But I have one guy who has hit me up multiple times. And this was the second year I did machines. I moved for him, where I'll pick up a machine in Northern Maryland and then bring it back home and then drive it out to Western Maryland, because he's in like Denmark or something, and he's got like a big convention that he acquires pinball machines for. He gets a whole shipping container full of pinball machines, arcade cabinets, sorry, and ships them all over there for his thing. Like, he gets them all shipped by like May or June, and his big convention is in October. So, yeah. California white oak is different from Texas post oak. Yes, I do believe so. Team Pecan. William says, Team Pecan, do I make sway for cherry? Man, nothing wrong with that. Oak and hickory is available relatively cheap here in Alabama. All right. Red oak, I find a tad more robust. I don't know, man. Like, I don't have a, like I said, the only thing I've really been able to say, oh my gosh, this is drastically different, is when I'm using a fruit wood versus a piece of oak. Or so I've noticed a difference. But the whole thing is, like, if I'm using Bessie, I'm putting so much wood through there that if I throw 10 sticks of apple and 50 sticks or splits of oak, that little bit of apple I put in there is not going to make that big of a difference, because the majority of the cook was done with oak. What do I think? But what do I think of pork belly burnt ends and normal burnt ends? But I don't make either regularly, because I usually sell my brisket in slices. But I did try to make some pork belly burnt ends for the wife and kids, and I did something wrong. It was just one of those things where, usually or typically before I do a video on something, I'll cook it ahead of time. And I picked up a pork belly from Costco. I was in there a week or two ago, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do some pork belly burnt ends. And I cut them up and put them out on the grill. And I just don't think I left them out there to render long enough, because when they got them, my wife was like, "Oh my gosh, they're so rich. There's so much fat still on them." And I also don't think maybe I needed to cut them up smaller, but I'll try again in a couple months. This is one of those things. Oh boy, I am behind on the comments. Thank you, Los. My channel is amazing. Great topics. Thank you. Any combination of oak, pecan, cherry, chuck roast, burnt ends are fantastic. Yeah, the poor man's burnt ends, when you do them correctly, because I've done them wrong too. You can get post oak logs through Ace. I've done that. Went to Academy Sports. Has been out. All right. Have I met? No, I have not met. Let's see. Who is the most famous barbecue person I have met? Uh, I haven't met any barbecue folks. I don't know. Maybe for 2020, I can meet with some of these famous barbecue guys, but I have not met Malcolm Reed. Nice. Did you buy the Yoder? William says oak is like 40,000 different species, plenty of variety. Nice greenhorn. That's what's up. Shagbark, hickory, cherry, apple, and white oak. I have a rick of each one. A rack, maybe. All right. Have I ever met anyone from the barbecue community? Not really. Aside from uh, who is it? Um, the Brooklyn Pit Rat. Him, and why can't I think of his name? I'm drawing a blank here. Oh man, I talked about this guy from Hoodoo Brown Barbecue. So Brooklyn Pit Rat, and it's Cody from um, from Hoodoo Brown Barbecue. They stopped at my house when they were on their way to go down and pick up their leg. So aside from those two guys, those are pretty much the only two guys I've met barbecue related. I have met Danielle, whatever her name is, the Diva Q. I'm not a fan of her. After she met me, I went out of my way to go to the signing where she was giving a class, right? And I was like, I'm not trying to get the class. I was trying to buy her book. And I said, well, if I buy your book, she was there. Can I get you to sign it? So I bought the book, spent the money for the book, and she signed the book for me. And she was following me on Instagram. Like I've told you guys a story before. She was following me on Instagram, and then like the day after I met her, she stopped following me on Instagram. I was like, well, damn, that sucks. So the day that I met her, I met Hootie from Blowfish Barbecue out in Pittsburgh, and I also met oh man, why am I drawing a blank? There's a guy. He's in Northern Virginia who he used to cook a lot more. He's kind of pulled back, so I guess family stuff is taking a little bit of priority precedence. But he moved, so I don't know if he's able to actually cook in the same vein where he used to. But other than that, man, I guess Danielle, is it Bennett? Barrett? Something like that. She's probably the most famous barbecue person I've met. Other than that, I haven't met anyone really in the barbecue community, like front of house in the barbecue community. I know some people in the backside of the barbecue community, but you wouldn't know who they were if I told you. Ah, a Rick is a 4x8. Okay, so I guess a Rick is a half cord. Um, 4x8. So that would be like a half cord to me. Chris, crispy bacon. Oh, that cracks me up every time. What's going on with you, man? Happy New Year. Mesquite is the smokiest than hickory. Where does post oak fit in? I have no idea. So again, William, I think oak is gonna fall in. Oak in general is gonna fall in with a more of a medium smoke flavor, whereas your mesquite is almost always gonna be your heaviest, thickest, smoke flavor producer. And the oak falls somewhere in the middle. And maybe the fruit woods fall in a little bit on the lighter side, but you know, it's one of those things. Who would I like to meet from the barbecue community? I'll meet anybody I can, to be completely honest with you, because there's some people in the barbecue community that are, a little bit too flashy for me. I'm just a regular guy, man. I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm right here. Uh, Mo Kason would definitely be up there on that list. I think he seems to be bigger than life, so I wouldn't mind meeting Mo Kason. Myron Mixon, if I bumped into him on the street, I probably would say hi. I think I would really enjoy if I could meet Aaron Franklin, only because he has one of the biggest names in barbecue. And he seems pretty down to earth. After reading his book and seeing a couple interviews, I can relate to Aaron Franklin, where how he got his start because I've done something similar. Um, But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Malcolm Reed, I wouldn't have a problem meeting Malcolm Reed, just because I think he's done a lot in and around the barbecue community. I would love to meet some other famous, like bigger YouTubers as far as barbecue YouTubers. So you got like T. Roy Cooks, you got like Justin from the Baby Back Maniac. I think I would, whoever I think I would love to sit down with Justin from Baby Back Maniac because he's like me. I feel like he's like me in the fact that he watches and does other things on YouTube than just barbecue. So like I was watching a video of him from when he went to a specific conference. It was a conference of YouTubers, and he was geeking out on like Peter McKinnon, and he was geeking out on some of the photography people and some of the other bigger videography people, and the other barbecue people who he was with were like, "Well, who's that guy?" And I was like, "Dude, you don't know who that is? That guy right there, you don't know who that is?" That would be me, because I watch a lot of other stuff aside from just cooking and barbecue stuff. What's the barbecue scene in Baltimore? There really isn't a barbecue scene in Baltimore. In Baltimore, it's all about pit beef. Pit beef to me is not barbecue. That's grilling. Um, Todd, thank you very much for hanging out. Appreciate you for stopping in. Thank you again. Ever seen Mad Scientist Barbecue? I have seen Mad Scientist Barbecue. I tried to be a fan of Mad Scientist Barbecue. I think his name is Justin too, or Josh, or starts with the J, I think. And some of the things he does, I'm just like, like I can't, I just can't, like, oh, and this is the problem. And this is why I try not to watch other people who do barbecue, because I'm critical. And if I see you do something that I don't like, then I don't watch your videos again. And it's nothing personal. It's just no, like I don't want you. I see you giving people bad habits, or I see you doing things that are going to give people bad habits, and it turns me off, and I just don't want to be a witness to it and co-sign that. Yeah, his name is Jeremy. I said Justin. I know it started with a J. All right. And how was your experience meeting him? Terry says I like mad scientists. Oops, tonight's live. Victor, how you doing this evening? How does really good wood fire management? He does have a really good wood fire management video. Yeah, see the whole thing with that is, and this is one of the reasons why I don't really watch other people's like I did a video on fire management that is still um it is my number one most viewed video and has been my number one most viewed video for so it was the number two most viewed video last year, and it is my number one most viewed video this year. So I won't say I'm not impressed, but this is just one of those things where it's like I did that already. I've been there, done that. And I know we can all do the same things over and over and over, but I don't know. I couldn't sit through 45 minutes of him doing that. Now, I am subscribed to his channel, and there are times when certain videos where you got my attention. Oh, you got me. I'll watch it. But I'm not breaking my neck to watch one of his videos, and that's just me. There's certain people I like to watch, and other people where I'm like, if I don't watch that, I'm not going to lose sleep tonight. And his are some of those videos. I'm like, every now and again, I'm like, okay. And the other times I'm like, that was silly. That was a silly comparison. Like, who in the real world is going to do that? So, but I tell you what, the one video that really turned me off to his channel was last year. He got a sous vide around Christmas. Last year he got a sous vide, and he went to his brother's house where his brother got a sous vide. He went to his brother's house, and he took some meat, and he cooked the meat in the sous vide via pot, and he was given instructions on how to do this, and he left the meat inside of the cryovac pack. Yeah, that wrapper that comes with the meat that's for sale, he cooked the meat in that. He didn't season it. He didn't do any sort of, like nothing. He put the meat into whatever vessel he was gonna do, and he cooked it in that. I was like, oh, I can't watch this. There's no way. There's no way. And you're passing that off on other people to giving them suggestions to do that. No, I not in good conscience could I watch that. That turned me off. Mike, I agree. Mike says I take information from everyone I watch and learn from. My first girlfriend is full time. Okay. Yeah, I think Greenhorn. I think it's his wife who does his videos. Okay, so View to a Grill. When you are touching raw meat with your hands and then touching uh any and everything under the book, that's a bad example. That's not another way to get it done. That's a bad example. That's cross contamination up and down. And then I gave an example of one of the things that I saw in particular that he did and I just didn't like. Um, William says, "Hey, I still watch you, even though you leave the bark on." Yeah, Iron Man Jack. No, I haven't. Well, Terry, thank you. I've watched a couple of your videos, Pickles. It's not nothing personal. I have not watched the masterclass videos from Aaron Franklin because they're expensive. Uh, hard to tell the difference in smoke flavor. If you eat enough of a certain thing, and then someone changes it, you know there's a difference. You might not be able to put your finger on it particularly, but you know there's a difference. Look, Greenhorn and I are on the same page. Renew says, "Yeah, I tried to watch them and couldn't." I try watching all I can. Well, that's what's up. Yeah. But I mean, the major pet peeve of mine is cross contamination. Like, oh, Chuck, thanks for backing me up. Chuck says I leave the bark on too. Um, what's new for 2020? The last two digits of the year. That's about it. Nothing else is new, man. I'm chilling. I'm just trying to get to the next. Yeah. So Victor says the subject that you're covering is a tricky subject. There are channels that I like. Yours are a great example, but wow, there are channels that I don't like. I agree. So one of the channels that I tell you I don't I watch in here and there. Harry Sue. Harry Sue is great for touching any and everything in his videos. He touches whatever meat he has with both hands, and he starts rubbing the meat with both hands, and then he puts it down, and then he picks up the seasoning, and then he starts to season it with this hand. And then he takes this hand that he's used and he's touched the raw meat and then the seasoning, and he'll pick it up and he'll move it. Then he'll pick up the seasoning with the other hand, and he'll start seasoning with that, and then he's rubbing everything in together. That just, I can't, I can't get behind that. You guys see when I'm doing different things, I'm very particular, very, very, very particular about making sure that my gloved hand is the only thing that touches raw meat. My clean hand or my dry hand is the only thing that touches seasoning. If I do one thing and I take the glove off. I much rather keep mental track of surfaces that I have to clean or surfaces that I have to, use a glove with. But that's just me. That's me. I want to make sure, cleanliness to me is next to godliness, and making sure that food is, prepared properly is high on my list. High on my list. Just like I tell you the same thing. I don't mix meats. I try not to mix meats in the smoker. Every meat has a different level. If I can help it. There are times when I can't help it and I have too many other things going on in the smoker. But I never, ever, ever cook pork on top of anything else. Uh, uh, yeah, you know, Vito Grill, he does do all of that and he's still alive, but he might be cooking his food well enough to the point where that's not a problem. But there are plenty of people who see that and don't clean up properly or don't do things that would make it so that they don't get sick. And one of the highest or one of the easiest ways that people get sick is foodborne illness. So, yeah. Mm. I bet he does know how to smoke on that wherever Smoky Mountain. Move the bark. I never heard of that besides old school burnt ends. Me neither. Yep. Mike, agree. Who's Thomas Keller? Yeah, but you know what? But the home cooks are the ones that want to be putting stuff on YouTube. So if you want to be a home cook and put stuff on YouTube for other home cooks to see, then I think you need to make sure that your home cooking is on another level. But that's just me. And I didn't start doing this as a caterer. I started this as a home cook, as a backyard cook. And I've been using gloves and making sure that things have been clean for my own family's sake for a very long time. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm catering. Now I am, it's not even that I'm more self-conscious, it's second nature because I've been doing it for such a long time. So I don't subscribe to that, and I don't, I want everybody to use proper food safety. And that is a big thing. Pickle says I wash up and clean up in between takes. Well, the thing is this: you wouldn't have to do that, and it would be so much faster and easier if you just wore gloves. But you can't wear gloves, and this is another thing. People wear gloves and they think, oh, if I have gloves on, then I can just touch everything. Nope. You wear gloves and you can still only touch selective things. You guys see me in the videos all the time, putting on gloves, taking off gloves, putting on gloves, taking off gloves, having gloves on, and I make no bones about it. I spend a decent amount of money on gloves. And yeah, one of the other things too, I have pretty dry hands. And the reason I have dry hands is because I wash my hands so often. And one of the things I can do to help alleviate me having to wash my hands as much, wearing gloves. If I'm not touching the dirty meat with my hands, then I don't have to wash my hands. It's just one of those things. Victor, Victor, we all have our pet peeves and our hot button issues. I know for you for sure. Yours, if I ever say anything about a dry brine, I'm like, ooh, if I say dry brine on camera, I'm going to immediately follow it up with a dry brine is actually just a quick cure. And I know that'll say, that'll satisfy your that hot button issue for you. But I mean, cross contamination is a big thing for me. Like you know what? Okay, here's another example, right? And another example, if you're cooking chicken and you're cooking pork, so you're cooking ribs and you're cooking some chicken wings, or you're cooking ribs and you're cooking some chicken halves or whole chickens or whatever. Do not use the same tongs that you touch the ribs to touch the chicken. That defeats the purpose of someone like me who doesn't eat pork. I don't want to eat that chicken now because you didn't touch it with the no. And then one of the other things too, people get on me all the time. Why are you cooking the chicken above this or why? Because chicken has a lower done temperature than pork does. So by the time any bacteria or any germs or anything like that would grow or be having contained in any chicken, it gets cooked off, and I'm using that food safety, in order to help with that. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know. Yep, Terry says one hand clean, one hand dirty. Thomas Keller French Laundry. All right. Autumn says, "Hey yo, what's going on, Autumn? How you doing this evening? Glad you can make an appearance." Keller will be pitted with the Franklin or mixing. Oh, in the farmer's table, high-end cooking arena. All right. Well, that's what's up. I ain't ever gotten sick. Pickles, man, just because you haven't gotten sick doesn't mean you can't. All right. And just like y'all give me grief when I rinse stuff off. I mean, give me grief all you want. But there's nothing like opening up a pack of ribs and finding bone fragments in it from where they cut it off. Opening up some chicken and finding bone fragments in it. It's far easier for me to rinse the chicken off and wash my sink out afterwards. But, that is me. I got another 20 years to get good before I retire, and then all off to me and wife will do barbecue cooks. Well, that's what's up, Mike. Happy New Year to you too, sir. Terry says, I change gloves a lot. You guys know I change gloves. The French laundry. Yes. Alton says, pet peeve putting raw meat on a wooden cutting board. Come on, man. What? Alton, don't you have videos of putting raw meat on a... No, you know what? You use a plastic cutting board for your raw meat, and you use your wood cutting board when you're done. I'm pretty sure. But yes, I agree with you there. Wood is porous, and if you're putting raw meat on a wood cutting board, that's just a breeding ground. Yes, change out your tongues or at least wash them between uses. That's a must. See, now I don't even do that. I just use my hands. I'll use gloves to do different things. I wear gloves, but I still wash up just in case there's splatter. Exactly. This is the only legendary combos in Facebook was about gloves and the rest. Yeah, we are picky, but you know what, man, Charles? Look, I'll tell you, there's. You ever see a video or see a picture of someone who cooks at home, and you were like, I don't think I would eat their food because of like dirty fingernails or like something in the background. Like I'm trying to think. Like I saw a video on Facebook or a picture on Facebook, and it was a person, a coworker of mine, and she was talking about how that's why I don't eat potluck food. It was because like a cat or something was up on the counter as this person was preparing food, and that's just one of those things. Like to me, putting on the glove and touching the raw meat, putting on the glove and doing whatever it is, like handling the meat that you have to do, that is assurance for the next person that their food is clean. If you're cooking for yourself, then and you want to use your raw meat hand to touch your seasonings, that you touch this with and you touch that and you touch the other, then cool. But and this is a pet peeve of mine, I don't particularly care for when I see it in videos and you're trying to show someone else how to do something, because they see that and they're going to take that, and even if it's subconsciously, they're going to say, oh, well, I don't need gloves because this. And then they want to start cooking for other people, but let's say their hygiene isn't the best. And it's like a domino effect, man. So that's just my biggest pet peeve. Victor says gloves don't make your food any safer, but it's easier. And as much as I admire himself, I did call him out respectively a few moments back when he said dry brine. All right. I think it's the I don't know. It's a combination of things, but gloves is just one of my pet peeves. Mine is scraping the cutting board with the blade edge of your knife. Well, William, nothing wrong with that, man. The whole thing is I have a knife dedicated for that, and the reason is because I want to scrape that layer off on the plastic cutting board, um, and get to a clean, like the plastic. You're cutting into the plastic, which means you're creating grooves in the plastic. I want to take those grooves out of the plastic so that I can make sure that the cutting board is clean. Um, uh, C to G says I don't eat pork either, and I hate when people touch different meats with the same utensils. Exactly. Part of the understanding is why there are not more people dying of chicken. The way people talk about it, there should be people falling out dead all over the place. The reason people aren't is because people cook their chicken well enough. Mm. No, man, that's what I said. I thought about it. You use a plastic cutting board. Now, Pickles, I'll agree there. He says over sterilization is killing people because there's no resistance. Yes, so using hand sanitizer, but using hand sanitizer isn't necessarily a stop to either. Um, what actually ain't microbial safer than plastic, stones, or glass. But do your own research. Chuck says, pet peeve is seeing someone in the kitchen tasting the food they're cooking for people with the same utensil over and over. Yes, Alton. Ooh, I called somebody out. The BA kitchen, the Bon Appetit kitchen. One of the girl Molly. I dislike Molly. I think I've talked to you guys about my dislike for Molly. Molly is one of the youngest people in the BA kitchen, and I really, 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 really hate that. Um, she's grouped into the millennial that bucket, all right, and I am, a Gen Xer, I guess, um, and I've seen like I've seen her taste something and put the spoon back into whatever it is she was cooking. Like some people will they might take their pinky and then the next time they're using a different finger or they're using a utensil and then they'll use it and then put it away. But she will taste something and then continue. Like she tasted something and she like used it to mix up the bowl. And I was like, what? Like, no. So Alton, the only reason I'm okay with that is because most of the time the chef is going to be doing something and you're using one finger. But if I'm tasting something, I'm gonna take a spoon and dip the spoon in and wipe the back of the spoon, or I'll lick the spoon and the spoon goes in the sink. One of those things. Handyman says people handling food with rings on is a no-no. I agree there. I knew a girl in high school who couldn't wink when she tried her mouth. Mm, mm, mm. Dude, look, you clean your cutting board however you clean your cutting board. I'll clean my cutting board how I clean my cutting board. But my cutting board is definitely much brighter and cleaner after I scrape it because I know that those plastics contain and retain the dirt. Lemon and salt is not going to actually get the dirt and the stains out of the cutting board. That's one we're going to have to agree to disagree on. I've seen people use the same spoon for tasting multiple things. Yep. It's fun. One scientist discredit another scientist. Pickles says, I discredit you, Johnny. Uh, that's cool. All right. I think he has picked the fight. It's not trying. No problem, Jeff. Look, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this tonight. And I was like, wait a minute, it is Wednesday. Usually I put up a video that says, hey, I'm going live on what we're talking about. Y'all can't have the spoons. Yeah, you know what, William, you're right. Morocco does steal them all. I fear it would not be welcome in my kitchen, bro. That's just fingers in people's food. I won't you that. Look. Teach his own. You're gonna take something, use a toothpick, and then throw it away. Now, I like that. I look. I will use multiple spoons and forks. My sons hate it because they do the dishes. uh, Pickles, man. Just because people don't wear gloves, man, doesn't mean that it doesn't bother me when they don't wear gloves. It bothers me. That's just my thing. I bet you that food, that finger that he lost would end up in the food, and then you wouldn't be eating it anyway. But all right, I don't have a problem with you cooking without gloves. My problem is touching raw meats without gloves and touching other things. There's a difference. I want to differentiate. There are times when I cook different things around the house and I don't wear gloves, but that's usually on the prepared food side, not the raw food side. Yes, it does get the. All right, Alton. It will. The scraping the knife will get the grooves out. It will. It'll get it'll get the high level scratches that are causing the cutting board to retain some of that dirt and other stuff. I mean, that was the best way I found to get the cutting board not only clean, but I am more or less resurfacing it aside from sanding it. And yeah. So a bench scraper will do almost the same thing that the knife does. It's just the knife is readily available. Mm-hmm. Now, I agree, Alton. He said, that's the law. I do all this cooking, these kids washing dishes. Sure enough. Mm-hmm. Raw meat is where I draw the line on gloves. Alton says, I note to self, Dash cannot use my knives and cutting boards in my kitchen. No problem. Next subject. Ah, yeah. Agreed. Vito Grill says, my pet peeve, cooking in a nasty kitchen, just picture roaches everywhere. I'm not trying to do that. I grew up eating raw ground beef from the grocery store with onion and salt, pepper when my mom made it. Well, glad you made it this far. Dave, Happy New Year to you too, sir. Thank you very much, man. You've been a long time watcher, a long time supporter, and I appreciate you popping in and saying what's up. Definitely do. Why do plastic cutting boards give you the heebie-jeebies? The best way to handle cutting boards is sterilize it with bleach water. When you're done, and for extra measures, start by re-cleaning before starting with bleach water. Scraping isn't enough. I agree. Texas barbecue guy. Yeah, he says he made it. Better late than never. Absolutely right. I'm gonna be getting off soon. I have a video I need to edit, or excuse me, I have a video I need to film tonight for tomorrow, because tomorrow's video was going to be the year in review. We're going to be talking about statistics for my channel, We're gonna talk about I'm gonna talk about the last 3 years of the growth of my channel. Oh man, Jimbo Q says tuning in from Afghanistan. Well, I appreciate that, man. Really, I do. You know what? Random. I've started watching this show on Showtime called Homeland. It's dope. It's pretty dope. I've been watching that with my wife. We're on to season 2 now. We started watching it, I guess, over the weekend. So we've progressed pretty quickly onto season 2, 12 episodes apiece. Yeah, Homeland is good. Microparticle bioaccumulation. Is that in the plastic? Another pet peeve: watching people use knives cutting towards themselves or not using the claw. Um, I don't use the claw, and I pull the knife. Well, there's certain times when I do cut towards myself, but I will cut towards my hand, and I'm very diligent about making sure that my hand and the knife are not limp in my hand, but I'm not like stabbing the knife towards my hand or anything like that. But I don't use the claw when I'm like if I'm cutting vegetables or something like that, then I'll kind of do that. But um, cutting briskets and stuff like that, I'm definitely not cutting my putting my hand over like this because I need to put my hand on that brisket to steady it. The lamb, same thing. I'm using my whole hand to steady that piece of meat so it doesn't go anywhere. Victor says, so before we be done, Happy New Year to you and all your viewers. Well, thank you very much, sir. And I think we're going to wrap this one up. Like I said, I have another video I need to film tonight. Cutting meat like brisket is understood. Speaking of prepping veggies and such, yeah, man, that's what I figured, and that's why I said, hey, you were here earlier, man. You could have hopefully just listened. You didn't have to participate, dude. Man, the reason why I'm leaving and I'm ending the live stream is because you just got here, man. If had you been here, no, no, man. You got to remember, it's after 11 o'clock for me, and I have to get up in the morning, and I still need to, um, I still need to film a video and try to edit it for tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Tomorrow's video just might be late. I think I've earned a pass since doing all of those videos for last month. Oh. Jay says he was building a TV stand for the mother-in-law. Well, you got to take care of her. Hey, Alton, trust me, you know as well as I do that I've pulled some long nights, late nights, and there are times when I'm just like, I don't need to, so I'm not going to. So I do live streams almost every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. If you 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time zone you are in or where you are exactly. But almost every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern is when I do these live streams. I've been trying to talk about them, talk them up in the videos lately. If you haven't seen, I talk about, turning the notification bell on. But, sorry. The problem is the majority of the videos you've probably seen over the last month have been about asking dash questions. So you might not be in the swing of things on the regular barbecue videos. But the regular barbecue videos go up on Tuesday mornings and Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern. Every now and again, I'll throw up another video on a random Monday, Friday, or Saturday. And then we go live, or I go live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, typically for about 2 hours. This, as you see, is run a little over. But the first hour, we talk about a specific topic. I will usually have that topic ahead of time. Sorry. See, this is all part of why I need to go ahead and get off. I'll typically have that topic ahead of time. We'll get it done. And see, the reason why I was kind of hurry up trying to get off is because I was thinking about going to sleep and then getting up early in the morning, filming the video that I need, editing it, and then making sure it was done before 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. I don't know though. We will decide in a few minutes whether I'm going to get up in the morning or I'm going to try to film it tonight. Though I'm pretty tired, so I think I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And we're going to end this. So I really appreciate you guys. Right. Happy New Year to you too. Have a good one. Night all. She got a new TV. I got a new TV to me. Shoot, I understand. I know how that is, Jay. Alton says, so Ash Dash question. So Dash, when am I coming to Texas? I don't know, man. When's a good time to come to Texas? How about that? All right. You let me know a good time to come to Texas, and I'm there. Dash, just do a bonus Ash Dash. That should be quick. No more Ash Dash questions. That is done. That ship is sailed. Hello from Houston. Well, what's up? Went to a place today to eat and had a smoked beef tenderloin cheesesteak sandwich. The other guy was there. A double burger and a bun. Those 2 grilled cheese sandwiches. Yes, I've heard of that before. Hey, Terry, thank you very much. March during the Houston Livestock Rodeo show and rodeo. I don't know, man. Houston. Next month. Man, that's too short a notice. I need like 6 months notice in order for me to be able to make a trip to Texas, man. You know how far Texas is? That's a long walk. Shoot. Anyway, good night, guys. Really want to thank you guys for hanging out and for chilling with me. Really do appreciate it. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna get up in the morning. I'm gonna set an alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna get up and film this video in the morning. Oh, what? Hold on, time out. I was told view to a grill. You will send your jet. You had me at hello. Tell me more. Hey Jeff, thank you, sir. Bushibato, thank you very much for hanging out. Appreciate it. William, yes. Wait, for the record, Alton has too many pet peeves or I have too many pet peeves? Huh. Oh, shoot. I know. I do have a lot of pet peeves. I agree. Pet peeve is not an excuse. Or I guess his pet peeves are my excuses, or are my pet peeves his excuses? I don't know. All right, before I yawn any longer anymore. Hey, thank you guys so very much again. I am gone.